And welcome inside the Backstage Pass for a Tuesday. Hard to believe it's almost the middle of May. I feel like we just began a new month. I can't even believe where time is going, but that's neither here nor there. We're presented by our good friends over at Bangtail Whiskey. If you hadn't checked them out, check them out at easyliquor.com. It's a good website to get great drinks sent directly to your door, and it's 750 milliliters of good stuff out there. It's Bangtail Whiskey, merchandise at bangtail.com. Of course, our good friends and our merchandise company, MitchMacs.com, for official Backstage Pass merchandise. And, of course, you can check out a good company out of Florida, Hank Jr. Productions. Brandon Morrell here live on our YouTube channel, the Backstage Pass, and, of course, live on the website powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. And pleased to welcome in, I always love our Texas natives, since I am a Texas native down here. He's got a new album out called How the River Flows. We're going to find out today how it flows on the Backstage Pass. Welcome in Matt Castillo here. Brother, what's up?
It's going great, man. Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, it is a Tuesday. Tomorrow's hump day, trash day for me here in Texas. So they come pick up the trash. And
that reminds me, I got to take mine out soon.
Put it out today when I got home. So that's always a good reminder to keep going on your phone what day it is, no doubt. But always a good thing. Hard to believe, it's the middle of May. When you put this out back in, I believe it was early March right there. Let's break this down because, again, finding your sound, a product of a lot of cool things, man. Just a lot of great songs. Back to traditional country in this 10-song terrific album that's out there across all the platforms. If people haven't heard this, man, this there's something for everybody on this record, and this is a body of work for you. You've been waiting to get out to fans for a long time, right?
Very much so. Almost 3 years in the making. How the River Flows was a great introduction of who I am as a country artist and the songs that I grew up on. I hope they show. And you're right. There's songs for everybody there. And what I love so much about this album, it just shows diversity in every song that I do. But it all talks to one thing. It's Matt Castillo. It's what I grew up on. Mm-hmm. And, going in with these songs, it took us 2.5 years to write these because we wanted to really have something special to give to the audience, my fans, new fans, and some people to talk about that really is concept album. I grew up listening to 90s music, and you look at the CDs, it was really a concept album. It was really about start to finish. And I still listen to albums from start to finish. I don't go a single at a time. I want to really hear everything from track 1 to track 10 or 15, whatever the case may be. And I wanted, I want songs to be on the radio, and then I wanted the deep cuts because I love deep cuts, and I wanted to do something like that on this album. And I was so happy that we were able to accomplish it. Now it's all about trying to get it spread out as far and wide as possible. And so that's the goal now, but I'm glad that everybody's been digging the new stuff, and there's more to come. But right now it's all about How the River Flows, and the music is flowing great.
It's good. It's just terrific music out there. Hey, talk about this because a lot of people get a chance to work with some great, notable people. When I was there for the CRS coverage back in February, met so many awesome people up there, writers and managers and people on labels and people that just have that love for the business, producers, songwriters. Roger Brown did some great work on this record, with you. Talk about that, the relationship there, because, again, people that know that name know a lot of kind of that synonymous figure of country music, and he's done a lot of cool things in the industry.
He has. He's a great mentor to me, whether he likes to admit it or not. I tell him every time, I'm so lucky that our paths cross. When we got together at a songwriter retreat, and it was our first time meeting each other, and we didn't get to write the first retreat, but the second time around, I really came prepared to kind of introduce some music of mine. And the first song that we wrote was Evil Kind of Woman, and it was an awesome take on it. And if it wasn't for my buddy Drew Fish, who introduced the idea, hey, you should really ask Roger to produce you, because I was in the middle of a transition of producers, and to know that he was doing that, I was like, all right. So I called up Roger. I said, hey, would you mind, producing my next album? He says, man, I like your work, but if I'm going to do this, it's under one condition. We're going to write a lot of songs. And I didn't know what that entailed until I got my hands dirty. And I was in Nashville, every 3 months, I think, or more than that, just writing every single day. And he got me around some great songwriters who are great people. And we came back to the retreat with 40 something songs, and we
Wow.
sat down and we we listened to them all. We were just picking out the best ones, and
Hmm.
we went in the studio with 15 and we came out with
Wow.
10. So it was a journey. It was such a great learning experience. It was my first time cutting up in Tennessee,
Hmm.
and it was great. You know, I try to hold on tight. That's the same thing Roger said. Hey, hang on, buddy, because you're in for a treat. And these
Hmm.
guys, these session players, killed it. But I love all these songs, and there's one that's not mine on there, but it feels like me
Hmm.
100%. And that's You've Been Leaving Since You Got Here. And when I heard that song, I got goosebumps from head to toe, and they didn't go away anytime soon. You know, it just really speaks to the heart. You know,
Hmm.
and I've known a lot of people in my life that have been through there, but to go back to it, it's just Roger's just been a great mentor to me, and we're working on some good stuff too. So I'm excited for what's to come.
There it is right there. Suspense is everything. It's like a good movie, man. When you put out 10, you want five. The five can be put on another record and more stuff is recorded. And
Just
I know
never.
one thing about musicians and working in the industry is they never rest on their laurels. It's always a push forward, which is a good thing. I'll tell you one that caught my attention. It brought me back to just some good, like, man, good country. And of course, a good friend of the program here. I've had him on several times. Texas country artist John Wolf has been out there touring for a long time too. And one that reminded me of just his style of music and a little bit of that 90s feel was Neon Red, Neon Blue. Let's touch on that one a little bit because, man, just again, you have so many riffs and ups and downs with it, and the guitars do such a great job in it. Of course, your vocals are spot on too when you look back at it, but just a great song that people can really, like you said, relate to in so many ways. We're talking about the top
Yeah.
of the show. Where was the inspiration for that one?
So Neon Red, Neon Blue was my first trip to Nashville.
Mhm.
I had a podcast or interview going on, and I reached out to a couple of friends of mine and said, "Hey, man, it's my first time in Nashville. Can I hook up with anybody to songwrite?" And he's like, "Hey, hook up with my cousin. His name's Chris Bursness, and get together." So I texted Chris and said, "Hey, my name's Matt Castillo. I'm in Nashville. You know, want to hang out and stuff." And
Mhm.
so after the interview, we went out and we ate some hot chicken and we just talked a lot. He took me a bunch of places, and we
Mhm.
went back to his publishing place, and we were just riffing around, and he's kind of sitting back, and he just starts. I have this melody going, and he just starts talking out the words, and I was like,
Mhm.
"That's pretty cool. I think we could do so." He's like, "Yeah, just imagine, falling in love. You don't need anything else other than falling in love. You have a breakup, you have another breakup, you get together, you talk about it.
Mhm.
You don't want to mention them. Just have us, you and I." And I was like, "That's pretty cool." And so I went back home and I changed up some things that really fit me, and we went
Mhm.
in the studio, and the guys just killed it, and I love it. So, it's really about, if you ever been in a breakup, you just got over that girl, or you're trying to
Mhm.
get over her, and you meet somebody at the bar or dance hall, and y'all just hit it off. Chemistry is just, you can't deny that, and you don't
Mhm.
do anything other than just forget about them, the ex boyfriend and girlfriend. So, it's really was inspired by some true stuff. So that's a
I,
fact.
I love it too, and I love the fact too that you grew up in Edinburgh, Texas. Anybody knows that town is so laid back. I've been down there a few times to the valley. I love it down there too, especially just going 35 south, hit it, and keep going on down there too. I used to actually work in a little town called Pearsall years back, but I loved it going that way. Uh, Man, what was it like? I guess the childhood and just being around that style you mentioned, 90s country. I'm sure it was all those artists people could name off on two hands or something like that out there, but that's a laid back, but also there's some tremendous talent coming out of Edinburgh, Texas, even today.
Yeah, the all-American city, Edinburgh, Texas. Uh, growing up there was different. Again, I was born in Austin, Texas, and I
Hmm.
was raised in Edinburgh, Texas, with my aunt and uncle, and it was slow pace in the sense that it was very family oriented. I couldn't just go to my neighbor's house. I had to like ride my bike because it was just we lived out in the country,
Hmm.
and the it's a big city, but it's also a small town. Everybody knows everybody. And, the 90s was inspired by missing my mom.
Hmm.
My mom was in Austin trying to put a roof over our heads. And, she knew that. In South Texas, I was going to get an education because my aunt and uncle were all about it.
Hmm.
My mom was working two jobs and she was trying her best. And I would always see her, let's get something straight. I always saw my mom every single time. Every holiday, she would come down. We were always together, but she knew that that place in South Texas was the safest place for me to get an education. And that's all they wanted from me,
Mm-hmm.
get a good job, get an education. And so every time I missed my mom, I would listen to 90s country, and she loved Garth Brooks. She loved,
Mm-hmm.
Reba. She loved all those people. And I just gravitated towards Garth. And it was just one of those things as a little kid. I had those little microphones. I turned around and, I'd be him for a song or two. But it wasn't until like my sophomore year in high school, I picked up guitar and I started learning the chords through a chord book, and I started learning Garth Brooks songs and all my 90s favorite songs. And it just became me. And to this day, I wake up in the morning, and if I'm listening to music, it's going to be country. And then before I go to bed, if I'm somewhere, it's going to be country. So my mom was a big influence on why I love what I love. And it's also, it's one of those deals where I guess if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be playing country music. And it's probably the same thing. She's like, damn it, why did I? Because I could have been doing something else. I still remember when I graduated college, I'm sitting on the counter in the kitchen, and I'm telling my mom, I said, and my aunt, I said, hey, I'm really thinking about doing music full time, because I was already started my musical journey, already had an album out, and had all these things, and we were kind of on the road locally and a little outside. And I just said, Mom, I think I'm gonna pursue music full time. And her face just did not. She said, then why in the F did I pay for your college? I was like, you're right. However, I promise I'm not going to let you down. And I said, and two, that diploma was for you, and you can have that diploma. I did it for you, Mom. My passion and love is going to be this.
Yeah.
And for her, it was prove me wrong. And proof is in the pudding. And so I did. I went out and I worked my butt off and try to write great songs and just tour as much as possible. And she saw that, and when I got to open up for Randy Rogers in front of, 3,000 people, she was there, and she just like totally different person, and she's my biggest fan, of course. But again, my mom was such a big influence, and I owe it to her to kind of get me to that country scene in there.
That's amazing, and congratulations. Love Randy, love his stuff too out there. And you guys get those bills where you can just sit there and open in front of the big cars and kind of vision yourself, playing behind, people like that. Somebody's going to open for you one day. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. You open for somebody, then you take the main act one day. That's pretty cool. That's pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, and the other thing too that I remember, I forgot, is that my mom is a Toby Keith fan, and we got to open up for him in Far, Texas, and we were the first band of like 8 bands. They brought all the Valley bands to open up for Toby Keith. It was one of those weird deals, but I remember, I don't know how, but ended up on Toby Keith's bus, and we're just hanging out and we're talking to everybody, and I was like, hey, can I take that red Solo cup that's right there? And he goes, yeah. And I said, okay. So I walked back and have a red Solo cup. Here, Mom, from the bus, here it is. And she still has it to this day. That's what I'm so I love it. God, it's awesome. But,
love that, dude. Special moments happen out of special things. That's pretty
Very
cool
much
that happens. Again, the album is How the River Flows. Matt Castillo, music.com is a good place to go out there for everything out there, for touring and for merchandise and for everything. Make sure you guys check that out. And of course, if you haven't got the album, make sure you go check it out too if you love traditional country like I do. Well, I'll tell you what, we got a couple songs Matt's going to perform for us today here on the Backstage Pass. Again, we're live on the YouTube channel and, of course, at the sportsguyspodcast.com. Brother, I tell you what, you can handpick any of those. I say dealer's choice. But you got, of course, the title track. I guess that's a good place to start. Yeah, How the River Flows, right?
Sure is. So this song was inspired by my 2 grandpas and my uncle. My grandpa in Austin is still alive and kicking, and he's pushing 98, 99. And
wow.
Sometimes I ask him, what's the secret to, living this long? And, it's Miller Lite and Pall Malls, baby. It's, it's one of those.
I love that. That's good.
And my grandpa in South Texas, he was a well-known umpire for the city of Edinburgh. Okay. And he played baseball, pro baseball in Mexico. And when he came over and came across and got a citizenship and everything, he became a well-known umpire in our community. And early on in my life, I used to play baseball, and he'd be behind home plate, not not umpiring, but just watching me, watch his little grandson. And he was so unknown that they have his name in center field in Memorial Park in Edinburgh, Texas. And I didn't know it at the time, the gravity of, your last name and your history, what you're going to leave behind. And I miss him dearly. He died back 94, 93. And so I miss him dearly. And so I wrote this song with Luke Reed, and we wanted to talk about our grandpas in South Texas and how we grew up. And so it talks about, Austin, and talks about the valley and fast pace and slow pace. But this is How the River Flows right here.
There we go.
Not so long ago, far away, in an old and precious place, where he taught me all the ways how the river flows. Had to jump right in, had to get out, know what you know and never doubt your heart, 'cause it'll show you where to go. So when life gets washed away, another one will take its place. Life is life, it's just the way it goes. Sure, as we circle around the sun, the rain will fall on everyone. So good or bad, sometimes it's hard to know. Time will tell just how the river flows. Dusty days, valley nights, can't compare to the city lights. For too long I lost sight of how the river flows. Running hard, living fast, somehow got me off the path. That old voice from my past reminded me of all I know. 'Cause when life gets washed away, another one will take its place. Life is life, it's just the way it goes. Sure, as we circle around the sun, the rain will fall on everyone. So good or bad, sometimes it's hard to know. Time will tell just how the river flows. It's Grandpa's shadow, but it ain't mine. I know he's never far behind, alive and well in my mind, down where the river flows. The stories live inside my dreams, that gentle voice that softly speaks. Forever he's reminding me of everything I know. One life gets washed away, another one will take its place. And life is life, it's just the way it goes. Sure, as we circle around the sun, the rain will fall on everyone. So good or bad, sometimes it's hard to know. Time will tell just how the river flows. Time will tell just how the river flows.
That's country music right there. And you heard me say it here on the Backstage Pass many times. Just 3 chords and the truth, and it don't take much right there. I tell you, to put it out there and talk about a story. And I tell you what, just being from the country and having grown up there, the hard work that's put in every day by cowboys and cowgirls and everything out there, and just family history. If that don't sum it up for you, man, I don't know what will. We can't help you there. But I can tell you what we can help you with is MattCastilloMusic.com. And, of course, How the River Flows, the title track, the full-length album, is out there for your listening pleasure. We're going to take a quick time out here on the show, get a word in, pay some bills here on the, again, the show is live on the YouTube channel and, of course, at the sportsguyspodcast.com, of course, on Matt's socials out there. If you want to chime in, leave us some comments in the comment box. We'll get to as many as we can. More with Matt here on the show. We're going to break down some songs. We've still got rapid fire to do, and we're going to talk a lot about just any cool stuff we think out there. If you got questions, please leave them in the comment box. There's no set script on my show. You guys know that. It's just whatever comes natural here. I tell you what's natural is Bangtail Whiskey, bangtail.com or easyliquor.com. And, of course, our good friends at MitchMacs. Hang tight. More with Matt Castillo here on the Backstage Pass live on YouTube at the Backstage Pass YouTube channel and powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. We're live there. Go check it out and check out some of those interviews and visit Matt's website during the break. Always a good idea. Hang tight. I'm coming back.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back on the show again on the YouTube channel, the Backstage Pass, and of course, powered by and live on the sportsguyspodcast.com. We'll have some more sports. I'm always out there just doing all kind of stuff with Facebook and my Astros and being critical of them too. And of course, when they're doing well, I congratulate them and all that good stuff. So I'm always ranting out there some sports topic in football season. Mini camps are 2 weeks away with you guys, and a lot of people want to strike up conversations. So I'm all about that. Leave the comments on the YouTube channel. I'll get to as many as I can out there for you sports fans. And, of course, fantasy football, never too early to answer those questions. So we'll get to that as quick as we can out there. Leave those comments, and we'll get to them fast. Myself, Nick, and, of course, the entire team, we love ranting on sports, good or bad out there, no doubt. And, of course, our Texas teams, we got to do that for all the Texas teams out there, too, as well. Back here with Matt Castillo here on the program. It is the Backstage Pass presented by MitchMacs.com, our good friends there with the official merchandise company, Bangtail Whiskey, and our friends at Hank Jr. Productions. Appreciate all they do for the sponsors out there, too. Talking about Matt's latest album, How the River Flows. And, of course, we just heard the song here on the broadcast here, so definitely be sure and check that out. Get the full-length album across all the platforms, and check out MattCastilloMusic.com for more out there. Hey, I want to go back a little bit to where I got into you, and it was an album that got a huge response for you guys out there, and it was 17, I believe y'all put it out, Still Sane, which is the full album out there, and there was a song that killed it out there streaming-wise that I was doing some research on the other day, and I believe it was called For You. And that was on that album, and you guys had like I always say six figures, whatever out there, over 100,000 streams on that. For an independent artist, congratulations on that achievement, because without a major label behind you, you guys pushing it, going to shows, doing that kind of stuff. Tell me about that album, kind of what set the stage, and that song really blew up for you guys.
Yeah, I wrote that song with my good buddy Jordan Daughtery, and we wrote 3 songs that day. We wrote For You, Hello Heartache, and Get You Home, which is one of his that he did. But, I really wanted to bring some of that South Texas vibe. I think at the time, cartels were you hear stories left and right, and we would hear people to go down there to go do missionary work or just go down there for fun, and things would happen. And I wondered myself, if I was ever in that position, would I give my life up for my woman, or all that? And the answer was yes. But I always say this is the one song I don't ever want to come true ever. But I really just love that vibe that we got. And when we got in the studio, I really wanted some accordion and guitar and it was just crazy. And we shot the music video in South Texas, down in Edinburgh, and it was hot. It was a hot one. But you should have, in the beginning of the scene, when I get kidnapped, all the neighbors didn't know what was going on. And all they see is just a bag over my head. And they call the cops. And so they're like, what's going on? I was like, oh, we're shooting a music video, and we're not nobody's getting kidnapped at all. And so we shot that one and all. And the first night, and then the second day we did spent 8 hours out in the hot sun just running. I ran so much, Jesus, I was out of breath. And, I was literally tired. At the end of the music video, I'm like breathing, and I just see this hand go over my shoulder, and I was like, I need a scene like that. Can we just grab a shoulder and just pull me back? But I was literally huffing puffing for air, man. But that song just resonates. The stuff that we were seeing in South Texas, and the stories that we were hearing, I just I wish I would have filmed it in Mexico or something. But again, I did not want any of that to ever come true. But yeah, it's so weird how it kind of just took off and it hit, and it just, I don't know.
It found some country music fans out there. Virally is a good thing. Also on there too, one that I loved, and it really I kept playing ever since I was about that time. I guess I ended radio and switched careers and that kind of thing. I guess never ended radio, but stopped working with the call letters at the time. No disrespect there, but I wanted to venture off and do my own thing. But Hello Heartache was very special for you guys. Something I really just we've all felt heartache in our lifetime, no doubt, no matter what aspect it is. But at the same time, that's one that kind of hit me. Where'd that one come from?
So again, there's this local bar venue that I go to. It's called Hillbillies in McAllen, Texas. And I cut my teeth there, and I sit at the back of the bar, talking with some people there, and I just watch people kind of fall in and out of love and get in fights. And oh man, here she comes. Who's that? Oh, ex-girlfriend. You know what I mean? I'm like, hello, heartache. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. So I took it to my buddy Jordan again, and he killed it. We both contributed to this song, and it was just right. It was honky tonk, it was country as it could be, but it's really was inspired just hearing people over your shoulder, talking about, damn, here she is. And again, South Texas is a small town, and everybody goes to Hillbillies. So if you have a breakup hours before, more than likely they're going to show up at the same time. Why would somebody new? I don't know, but you're going to have a lot of drinking, a lot of there have been times where people get mad at each other and just like, well, forget you. And you're like, uh-oh. And then they come back later. They just, I don't know. But that was inspired just by being in the bar and, watching those things. And I'd go there, they're open Wednesday through Saturdays. I'd probably be there Wednesday, Thursday, hit the road Friday, Saturday, come back, try to find it. It happened over a week span, but when we wrote that song, man, I was like, this is something special. And it really was honky tonk. It's very similar to what you're hearing on How the River Flows as far as the honky tonk stuff is concerned. So it was right up there. It still saying the album was a little bit more rockier, but I really wanted to go more country. I felt like I really loved it and missed it. But again, Missed My Chance and Hello Heartache really touched on what I was really going after musically and sonically.
It worked out really good for you. And of course, it really set the tone for what you guys released there. Again, How the River Flows was early March, and man, it's already doing some big things in the state of Texas and of course around the continental United States. So guys, check that out, and also check out MattCastillomusic.com. Hey, let's play another one from the album. Again, How the River Flows. 10 great songs. And what I love about this album is when you hit the first one and you hit Say It, you're going to go down all the way to 10. It's not going to be one of those albums that, and of course, most albums I always listen to in full length because that's my job. It's what I got to do. But I love music. But at the same time, I'm always not just catching, okay, what's a hit on the radio. I want to hear it, man, through and through, all the way down to 10, 12, 15 songs. And so I love listening to so much music every day. And that's what makes the albums very beautiful, because I think it's just, you find so much on there that's going to really fit the bill. And I just commend you guys on great work out there, putting out a great project. What's up next?
It was a combination of a lot of things. The track listing, my guitar player, Alec, I was like, look, man, this is what I'm thinking about track listing. Cause I was kind of incorporating it, what you would hear live is from start to finish, is high energy from start to finish. And I really wanted it to have that, be featured in my album with all these songs. So if I was playing a whole album at my show from start to finish, it'd be this, it'd be, that's how we would kick it off. And it came out so awesome. But the next song I'm gonna play is my current radio single that's sitting number 15 right now in the Texas charts. And it's 3 chords and the truth, man. Again, we were talking about, going in, I had some close family members of mine and people that I knew that were going to be affected in Edinburgh, Texas by the toll road, and more people than just in Edinburgh area. But TxDOT wanted to build a toll road through all these people's land, orchards, acres, and people's houses. They in South Texas, man, the dream is to own a ranch house, is to own a piece of land and live out there and, wait for the progress to come and find you. But until then, you're isolated out there. It's just home. You build your own thing, and people work hard for that. And these guys just wanted to come and just throw a damn toll road, man. And so the community got together and they fought TxDOT and they won. And when I heard the news, I was like, this is inspiring, let me see what I can do. So I started writing the song on my phone and typing it out. And I thought, man, I think Karen Staley would be a great co-writer on this. Let me shoot it over to her. And I did. And she replied back, this is a great song. And she typed it out, replied back to me with new lyrics. So we literally wrote the song over email. And it wasn't until we got in the studio where my producer was like, what are we going to do? And I was like, what do you mean? It's only 3 chords. I said, that's a good question. And he was like, I think I'm just going to let the guys just let loose on it. I'm not even going to tell them what to do. Just they're going to hear the song and they're just going to go. And what you hear in that album is just the guys, the session players, just tearing my song apart. Oh my God. And, it's about hard work, man. Hard work and truth. So hands look old, wrinkled, sore and worn down to the bone. Stretch your fence across countless acres. He's fall tooth and nail to call it home. Dusty boots, breaking horses, moving the cattle that wears his brand. He says you're never too old to learn, son. Hard work and truth, that's what makes a man. He's a cowboy. The fella says they come rubbing it on. Face the morning sun, every day he's hauling hay, and praise the blizzards and the rains, 'cause he's a cowboy, 'cause he's a cowboy. Now you can bet there are coyotes all around, ready to steal what's been claimed. There ain't a job he and his horse can't do. He loves this ranch, the bear's name. He's a cowboy. The fella says they come rubbing it on. To face the morning sun, every day he's hauling hay, and braves the blizzards and the rains, 'cause he's a cowboy, 'cause he's a cowboy. He's a cowboy. The fella says they come rubbing it on. The face the morning sun. Every day he's hauling hay. Brings the blizzards and the rains. 'Cause he's a cowboy. 'Cause he's a cowboy. His hands look old and wrinkled, sore and worn down to the bone.
I'm ready for a concert myself here on the show. We're having a good time here, and this you guys know me, know I grew up on this, and man, DJ'd it for so many years, and there's 3 guys synonymous here where I grew up. And you mentioned that 3 chords in the truth, and it's songs like that you guys worked your ass off with this album, and I really commend you guys and appreciate what y'all did for How the River Flows, man. And those guys I'm talking about, just they never made it complicated. Mark Chestnut, Tracy Bird, Clay Walker, and of course the other one I'm gonna throw in, George Jones. Guys that just knew music inside and out, and it was just Beaumont, Texas, synonymous down here for Texas country artists that they don't make it difficult. They just sing from the heart, and that's what Matt Castillo does and what he's done on this latest record. Guys, I'm telling you again, go check this out. That's just 2 of the songs. Like I said, it's out there across all the platforms, so make sure you guys will play this over and over again on your playlist, no doubt. We got a timeout to take here, pay some bills here on the broadcast, again, live on the YouTube channel, the Backstage Pass, and of course, powered by the very website, the sportsguyspodcast.com. We're always having fun with music and sports on the website there, so check it out. A lot of cool pictures and things to go check out. Next weekend, we'll be in Alabama at the festival at the Well down in Glenwood, seeing one of my favorite artists, Ashton Shepherd, perform there. So you guys get those tickets now and get down there. Some exciting talent. Can't wait for that in Glenwood, Alabama. That's on May 21st. Between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. out there. Have a good time. And it's just good to see artists back on stage and shows continuing around the country. One quick time out here for Bangtail Whiskey and our good friends at MitchMacs, coming right back with Matt, Rapid Fire. And of course, I'm going to ask him about a song from the record that really touched me and made me think about a lot of things in country music. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit with Matt Castillo. One time out here, it's the Backstage Pass, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. Hang tight, we're coming back.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the sportsguyspodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass.
And back here on the show again, Matt Castillo joining us here on the show tomorrow. We're going to do another doubleheader. Former American Idol winner Chris Allen is going to stop by with us on the show. And then a special treat, 4 o'clock tomorrow. She's a platinum-selling Canadian pop artist. Platinum selling says it all right there. Alicia Moffett going to come by and talk about her latest project, her album here on the Backstage Pass. I love doing those doubleheaders sometimes, especially when you get great shows, no doubt. And then, of course, on a Thursday, come back. And of course, Friday in the week here on the Backstage Pass. All shows around 3:30, 4 o'clock. So you guys hang tight there. Next week, special tribute coming up there here on the show. Say tribute, but Texas country artist, the guy I've got the utmost respect for. He's blowing up in Texas. Colby Cooper is going to stop by here on the Backstage Pass. So look forward to that next week here on the show. Back here with Matt on the Backstage Pass. Again, Bangtail Whiskey, MitchMacs.com, and our friends at Hank Jr. Productions. All right, the one that touched me on the record, again, How the River Flows out there across all the platforms, was The Man I'll Never Be. And I went through ups and downs with that, back and forth thoughts. Okay, I found the right woman. I did this. I'm trying to do the honey-do list. I'm a good man to her and my daughter. But then there's some things where before you met that person, you kind of think in life, am I going to get there? And it's amazing the thoughts that roll in your head. But for you guys, I'm sure, to put that song together, that has to be a special one that was included on that 10-song album.
Yeah, we were waiting. Oh, not waiting. We were needing. Sorry, we needed 4 more songs to put on the record, and one of them needed to be upbeat, which was "Say It." And myself, Roger Brown, Tommy Connors, and Don Rollins, we got in the room, 4 of us, and we just started writing songs. And the last one that we wrote before breaking for dinner was "The Men I'll Never Be."
Mm-hmm.
And again, it was probably the longest song that we wrote, that it took to finish, because it was so well thought out. It wasn't just, let's just put things out there and see if it sticks. No, everything meant something. And every time we would complete a section of the song, I was like, man, this is me, am I ever going to be good enough for what because every guy has their flaws, or they come in with some bad habits, or they come in with something. And I'm like, do I deserve this woman? Do I deserve to be with this person? And it's again reminded that, yes, you are good enough. Quit telling yourself that. You have everything that I want and need, because if you didn't, I wouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite lines is, she always knows exactly what to say to chase my insecurities away. In the darkest part of all my darkest days, she shines. And when I was singing that song and that line came on, if you really listen closely, I was kind of smiling as I said that, because it's a moment, and I'll never be some hero on the news that does the kinds of things I can't quite do. She swears I don't have anything to prove at all. It's, that just really hits home for a lot of people. And that's the whole point of writing songs. You want it to just not hit you, or you want it to hit everybody. So if anybody's ever doubting themselves that they should be in that relationship, really take a hard look and realize that she hasn't left you yet. You're good enough.
And I tell you what, that sets the stage for you guys and others. Again, this album has been fantastic, and I know you guys are looking forward to the next round of songs to put out. But I know for you, one of the cool things you want to do is to say, you know what, I want to get on tour. I want to go, like, this big tour coming up too as well, and kind of do this, take my music on the road, share it with more people, definitely attract more fans. The traditional country sound that you have, which is super out there. Is there works for? I know you guys are back doing the shows now, but is there work down the road for this kind of Matt Castillo headline tour? Because I could see it, honestly, and I would love to come see you guys play live and just get out there and have a beer and enjoy live shows again. But I know that's one of the things you want to do is kind of get on a big tour for yourself. If it's not opening, it could be headlining too.
Yeah, no, we're on tour right now currently, and it's called How the River Flows Tour, and we've been hitting some nice cities headlining. It's as independent as we are, or as I am, one of the biggest challenges is to go into a venue, play all your music from start to finish, 25 songs, 23 songs of yours, and keep the crowd dancing. That's hard, man. Yeah. But I'm up for the challenge. I, as much as I want to be supporting my heroes, people that I look up to, the challenge is, let's go in that venue, melt their faces, win people over with just our songs and our entertainment. And I hope that I get to spread my music far and wide. We were in New Mexico, then we were in, obviously in Texas, and then late July, we're going to Key West. And then after that, we're going to Missouri, and then we're making our way down. But again, as an independent artist, one of the biggest challenges are getting into new venues, because I'm not represented by some big old booking agent. I wouldn't say no, but at the same time, does it fit who I am? And we all, as a team in the camp, said, all right, we're up for the challenge. Let's go and attack everybody that we can. And so right now our goal is to chase the states, go up there and back. So I'm praying every day that the doors still open up for us, and we get to go tour a little bit harder, or somebody recognizes what we're doing and brings us into their venue, because it's country from start to finish. It's high energy. I'll attest to that. I'll put my name on there. I'll risk it all. I promise you, this dance floor, if you're a dancing venue and bar, you won't get off that dance floor.
No.
And so, but again, we're up for the challenge, and How the River Flows tour has been doing great so far, and we've been winning a lot of people over. So we don't plan to stop anytime soon.
I wouldn't either. Like I said, it's authentic country music as it gets, and you guys are the real deal. And like I said, nobody's going to get off that dance floor. If you are, you're a fool. And I shouldn't say that too, but it's like, man, once you're out there with these songs, you're not going to get off. And like I said, even that to the last album to this one now, and definitely you and I could go on forever with these songs because I've listened to them in depth, and lyrically they're some of the best I've ever had seen written, and come up with some great titles out there. But I got to do the rapid fire because I'm gonna have you back when the new projects come out, and I know my good friend Alexis, she keeps me busy all the time with some amazing talent out there. So Alexis Tedford, shout out to you and what you do out there for your company and your artists, no doubt about it. One of the best PR reps that I work with and putting together my shows. All right, let's talk about this. We mentioned Edinburgh. Growing up, knowing the state of Texas, know we got some of the best food here and some of the best barbecue in Texas. And for me, I married a beautiful Hispanic lady. So I've been married to her for 11 years, have a daughter. Yes, I have good taste. So I love my Taco Tuesdays. I'm getting tacos tonight. But for you, is it tacos? What's the go-to food you like to cook or you like for takeout?
So when I'm missing home, I will cook. I'm a big cook. I'm a big foodie. I'm a big cook. When I'm missing home, I'm doing ground beef and fidel. And if I'm going to eat some tacos in South Texas, I'm going to get beef steak, tripas extra crispy, everything on it with some chado beans, and I'm home, man.
Love it too. This message, Kathy, thanks for putting this up there. You really make her day, no doubt. So it's pretty much, yes, thank you for all that. And I do agree with that, especially just everything you said right there. Great things do come to those who do good things in this world, no doubt about it. All right, let's do this one. I always say, because a few weeks ago I had my lottery tickets going crazy with the Powerball, whatever it was out there. I saw it, the big billboards at 400 and something, blah, blah, blah. Let's say Matt Castillo wins anything in that lottery. I don't care what amount it is. You match all 6 numbers, you get clearance, the cash option, you got deposit, whatever. What's the first thing you do with the money?
Oh, that's great. I don't shoot. Get another bus. No, I don't know.
Yeah, well, hey.
No, I would take my whole family on a trip outside the States. We'll go explore. Everybody in my family deserves a vacation. They work so hard. My mom works 18-hour shifts at her store in 7-Eleven here in Austin, off of Westlake. And my goal is to just get her out of there and take her on a vacation and just let her unwind, pamper my whole family. I think they're all deserving of it. So I would take my whole family out.
I love that. Great way to spend time, no doubt about it. I love to travel. Let's do Matt Castillo, favorite movie of all time and favorite cartoon growing up. What would it be?
Oh, dang. Depends on the season, my man. But if we're doing, but it's gonna have to be Dumb and Dumber. I don't know why.
Okay,
I love that.
All right.
I love it. And favorite cartoon, man. I would have to say Doug if we're doing cartoons.
Okay,
Doug.
right.
And but if we're doing just TV shows every Saturday morning, it would have to be the Power Rangers.
All right, I like that. I like that. All right, favorite drink to wind up if you need caffeine, I guess, or if you're more of a alcohol guy. Of course, I'm not very much of a drinker anymore, but there's a little taste of the Bangtail Whiskey. See how I got that in, a little plug that I get right there. But is there a drink to wind down or wind up that you like?
In the mornings, it's pecan coffee, and at night, it's old fashioned.
Pecan coffee. I've never, man. I gotta talk to you about that. Is that a brand? Is that something?
No, so there's this place. I'll keep it quick. At Central Market, I forgot what brand it is, but they have real pecans inside the whole beans. And what you do is when you grind up the pecans in there. So you get this amazing flavor. And every time we stop at a truck stop, we're headed down the road, I look to see if they have pecan coffee. If they do, I grab it. But if they don't, I'm like, dang it. But this one place has real pecans, little small bites. And when you blend it and you pour it, it's so amazing. So,
I love it too.
Yeah, man. And I've gotten really good during COVID. I really got good at old fashions because I was making them a whole ton. And I was doing Whiskey Wednesdays, and my fans, who I love so dearly, they kept me going. They would ship me whiskey just to have more old fashions or to taste their whiskey that they brought. And I want to bring it back. I so badly do, but all my fans are there that kept me going. I love y'all. Thank you.
All right. This might take some thought here in this rapid fire segment. The title of the first song you ever wrote, or if you can't remember the title, what was the song about?
First song I ever wrote was Too Drunk Anyway.
Too drunk anyway. Okay, I like that. See, that's always a good
Yeah.
thing. Some people are like, "Well, I don't know what it was like that," but I know what it's about. It just
No, it was about it's Too Drunk Anyway. We play it's the last song of our show. It's pretty cool, but yeah, it's Too Drunk Anyway.
I love that. Good stuff right there, brother. Well, I'll tell you what, one of the authentic country artists out there in Texas country doing his thing, and of course, definitely making an impact on Nashville. Check it out, mattcastillomusic.com, and of course, get the album How the River Flows out there across all the platforms. Matt, appreciate the time, and definitely, my friend, looking forward to catching up very soon with the new projects, no doubt.
Hey, I'm headed your way, buddy. So I will see you soon.
You got it, my friend. No doubt about it, too. Oh, yeah, I love that. Kathy says, got that T-shirt, Too Drunk Anyway. So definitely that might be one. You guys have to log on and grab that shirt, no doubt about it. Appreciate the audience. Of course, if you missed anything, it's on the socials out there, the YouTube channel, of course, the Backstage Pass, and at the sportsguyspodcast.com on Matt's socials. Leave the comments. We'll get to them as quick as we can. Any sports rants you want to go off on, I'll answer them, too. Thanks to the sponsors. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 3:15, with Season 8 winner of American Idol, Chris Allen, on the Backstage Pass. We'll catch up with Chris and what's going on in his camp right now with music and all the fun stuff. And hey, best of luck to the remaining top 5 on season 20 coming up this weekend. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 3:15, with Chris Allen on the Backstage Pass. Until then, have a great